Good morning, pregame crew. It is Thursday, September 28, 2023, 6:23 a.m. Mountain Time, 8:23 a.m. Eastern Time. Good morning. Welcome to the show. This is a show where I go over indices, commodities, crypto, movers, and shakers of the day. I try to get you ready for the trading day and whatever the day throws at us. And Lord knows it can throw us a lot. Look at that for yesterday from Meta. I can't stop staring at the Meta chart. Y'all take a shot of coffee every time I say Meta today. Thank you, Rob. Thank you. Let's do a little roll call. Hey, Andre, Greg, Tom, Ella, Marvin, D-Rim, my friend Rob. Hey, JF. Sure will. Hey, Geo Guitar, Card Lady, Gino, Casey, Sir Fernando, B-Hawk. I'm glad you could laugh, Chris. I'm glad I got you. Hey, Mike, Shake and Bake. 0x Farmer, Topher. Hey, Fat N, Bass, Carlos. I saw your message at the end yesterday, Carlos. Heading back to the pool. What a life, dude. In Italy. Crazy awesome. Hey, SpongeBob. Hey, Mr. Gugster. Greg, Scotty doesn't know, Hector, Dave, Jim, Tess, my friend Jessica, and Dan. Good morning. And if I sound a little tired and sleep deprived, it's because I went to see this guy last night. We've had tickets for a while, and I didn't want to go because y'all know I haven't been in a laughing mood. It's been a tough month, but this was the best medicine I could have taken. If you get a chance to see, I don't know how to say his last name, Nate Bargatze, I think is how you say it. If he's coming to your city, you gotta go. Oh my. For me to stay up past my bedtime to watch anybody says a lot, and this guy was unbelievable. All right, we have GDP in 4.5 minutes and initial jobless claims. Let's look at that right now. Then we have pending home sales at 10 a.m. So after the market opens, don't forget about that. And we got Fed Chair Powell speaking at 4 p.m. today. So yesterday was quite the roller coaster, and we'll break it all down. I want to remind you, we have a webinar, A Guide to Better Entry Techniques. Today at 5 p.m. Eastern, you can go to this link here. It's pinned at the top of YouTube chat and sign up for it. And I'll be tweeting it out as well. So if you feel like, I think about the precision that's needed in trading. Precision is super, super important and super difficult to achieve. If you're suffering from lack of surgical entries and exits, go to this webinar. Joey's going to help you with entries. He's awesome, and he's very good at precision. And I kind of liken it to if you're going hunting and you need to kill a deer. Sorry, we're not actually killing a deer. This is just an analogy. But you know, versus going out there and shooting with a bow or a rifle, you go and you get a hatchet and you chase it around trying to whack at it. That's what I view myself when I'm trading and not using precision. I'm just whacking at things. I'm not bringing the right tool to the job. And I guess you could say surgical, but I don't want to give the visual of that. But I like to use the word surgical entries and exits. Precision and patience, precision and patience. And it's very, very difficult to attain all of that. I say all the time, trading is very straightforward. It's not easy, but it's super straightforward. So let me go back up and take a chart request. I'm not going to have a ton of time because we got GDP coming. And we had a short rally yesterday. Remember, short covering rallies weaken a market. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but it does. It doesn't build structure on the way up. And look at all that liquidity that came off the sidelines. That liquidity is now gone. And the lack of structure on the way up can weaken a market. Not always, but it can. So remember that. And we retraced about 55% of the move from low of day to high of day yesterday. I guess it wasn't high of day. The high of day was reached there, but the lower high in the afternoon, we retraced about 55%, and NASDAQ retraced about 60%. So NASDAQ's recovery is a little less than ES. So we're right in the middle of that range. Odds favor lower highs due to the size of the pullback. Odds favor 4-hour lower highs on these charts. So let me turn this magnet off, and don't let me forget to turn it back on. We're looking for lower highs compared to yesterday's high. That's what the odds favor. It doesn't mean we can't take it out, but that's what the odds favor. And here we have a lot of inverse head and shoulders. This is terrible. Terrible drawing, but we have a lot of inverse head and shoulders type shape with the size of yesterday's recovery. It lends itself to potential inverse head and shoulders on lots of charts on various time frames. But right now, odds favor 4-hour lower highs on ES and NASDAQ. Or is this our day where we get our daily bounce going and bounce from the 200 MA? Remains to be seen. If you're just now joining, I already started the show. Didn't mean to. I'm already getting into it. The last daily candle on MetaChart means that they sold the news when they had their event yesterday. And then with the short covering rally, and once the event got going, bulls are like, wait a minute, it wasn't as bad as I thought. They actually had technical difficulties in starting their show yesterday, their event, and it was bearish initially. So they just had a little bumble here and there, and it got sold off, and then investors said, wait. If the market's going to bounce, we're going to bounce with it. So Meta is still super, super interesting for me. All right, GDP out in 5 seconds. So check your open orders. We'll see what it's going to be here. Forecast 2.1. And actual is 2.1. Jobless claims 204, a little less. So that's good news for jobs, but that's bad news for the market for that jobless claims for it not to be going up. The Feds want to slow down the economy and not speed it up. So a strong labor market is actually bad FOMC wise. Okay, we're recovering ever so slightly. Nothing major yet. The high of yesterday's move becomes the line in the sand for whatever you're watching. So here, 4330, that is the line in the sand, and then 433650, and you have support here at 4302. Again, we're coming from daily oversold, and we're at my favorite, one of my two favorite indicators, the 200 simple moving average is where we are at on RSI. RSI is actually turning up. We were oversold just a minute ago. And weekly 50 MA. We're at the weekly 50 MA, daily 200 MA, and oversold. So let's see what the bulls can get going. Can they get over 4330, or will these bounces be for shorting? Do you see the RSI of 50 acting as resistance since, well, it bobbled over it Monday just for a little bit. And we have a little squeeze. Let's see if we can get some follow through. No high yet. All right, I'm going to introduce myself, and then I'm going to try to go back to chat and answer your questions, okay? So y'all just bear with me. It gets kind of jumbled on days that we have data because I'm trying to cover the data, the key levels, so you know what to look for and do the show. All right, this is who I am. I'm Chart Gal Lori, and I'm part of the Chart Guys community, and we teach technical analysis. If you want to give me a follow at Chart Gal Lori, that would be lovely. Hit that like button, and don't forget about our webinar this evening. The link is in chat, and what I do here every morning is I go over this table. Overall, we're looking more bearish. When certain things don't line up with the major prevailing trend, I like to highlight those in turquoise just to have them pop out at you. We are oversold on the daily on ES. Daily 200 MA is right below, and the weekly 50 MA is right below. VIX is at the 50 MA overhead moving average, and we have a weekly trend line resistance. And Bitcoin has some strength overnight. These are things that don't add up with the bearish narrative, and we'll look at those individually. I have notes that are off screen. I copy and paste those for TCG members when I am done. And we have Hang Seng that was down 1.36 overnight. DAX is looking a lot better. It was flat earlier. Man, they still have a lot of work to do. It's potential 4-hour bear flag. And I'm still in reverse back burner mindset. So I'm looking for overbought conditions to short. I think that is our best bet on the day. All right. So ES, we're at the hourly 50 MA. Oh, by the way, Nate Bargatze, the comedian last night, he said that the way he says POEM is Southern. And I was looking at my husband. That's exactly how I say it. Poem. And I guess we're supposed to say poem. I don't. And oil is not right. It's supposed to be, I say oil. So kind of, I don't know. I just had some revelations last night that I did not know. I guess I know I don't speak correctly or like I'm supposed to because of my accent, but that was kind of funny. I didn't mention this support of 43.05. Okay, ES is getting overbought on the 5 minute going into a key resistance. Let's see if this is where it tops out. All right, let's go to NASDAQ. NASDAQ 4 hour lower high, still the more likely scenario. Key resistance is 1.5. Okay, my magnet's off, dang it. I told y'all don't let me forget to turn that magnet. So let me go back to ES. Is that right? Did I mark it right? 433025. See how I automatically throw y'all under the bus when I mess up? Just kidding. Okay, so NASDAQ, your key resistance 1482150, 1482150, and support 1467775. NASDAQ on the daily is not oversold, and again, we lost that weekly support. We're still looking for a monthly high or low. Where that gets set, we don't know, but typically your best place to look for a monthly high or low is when daily gets oversold. That has me looking a little more bullish with that daily oversold, and we're looking for that monthly high or low. But again, reverse back burners are safer. If you want to be aggressive this morning, you could look to buy pullbacks against yesterday's low. If you want to be conservative, you're waiting for 15-minute overbought conditions in regular trading hours for top fish setups. Okay. You did Nate's house loan when you worked at Chase? Oh gosh, that's funny. Train Man Dan, I feel like you and I have the same accent when I talk to you. That's funny. Okay. I need to stay with indices and then I'll go back to questions. I'm feeling like I feel bad because I didn't get any chart requests because I hopped on a little late. Okay, we're squeezing on the 4 hour on IWM. I was going to say this has the hallmark of an inverse head and shoulders, but I probably need to stay away from that term because the head is just not round enough. So you have resistance at 1802. You're approaching it right now. Okay, we're initially rejecting here at that 4330 area with 5 minute overbought. Again, that's a great place to look for top fish. 5 minute overbought running into a strong, obvious resistance. We're in our second daily inside bar on RTY, and IWM got oversold yesterday. They can't get anything going. They're at the monthly 50 MA. Yeah, when I was looking at this earlier, it looked like an inverse head and shoulders. Okay, let me go back to YM. I'm just going to slow down and do what I know to do. And if I run over, I run over. Okay, your next resistance on Dow, 34,012. So let's just call that 34,000 site and support 33,705. Let's look at XLF while we're here. XLF lost weekly support. Odds still favor a monthly higher low, and this tight EQ continues. On the daily, we have a nice hammer. That's hammer time, folks. That means you have a long lower wick of bulls buying the dip. Odds favor a daily lower high on a bounce. And so when I see that, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go look for first hourly overbought conditions. Those are more conservative trades, not that. Tell me when it reaches 70. And then that's where the area where I'd look for a daily lower high. All right, I wanted to look at XLV too. How much damage have they done on healthcare? Healthcare, that's a nice long lower wick of bulls buying this dip. We're not oversold. Looking for a monthly higher low compared to 12502. One more I want to look at. XLI. We were at the daily. Yeah, we're losing the 200 MA. So we closed yesterday with an inside bar on XLI. Bounces are for shorting until we can repair structure and bulls prove otherwise. All right. Let's look at Bitcoin. Actually, let's look at the dollar. Dan's video, he went over the dollar correlation yesterday and how strong it was. Y'all know I've been beating the table about dollar correlation probably the last 6 months. It has been super strong for the most part. Some days it disconnects and that inverse correlation is gone, and other times it syncs up and it's beautiful to get clues. We're looking for a 4-hour higher low, but now on a bounce, bears will be scouting lower highs. And so on gold, it's so weak. So this is what the bounce should look like on gold. That's what it should look like. If the dollar pullback looks like this, the dollar pullback is this dramatic, we shouldn't be dog-legging out here to the side with a potential 4 to 8 hour, whatever time frame you want to look at, bear flag. Gold is still super weak. So 4-hour lower high, the more likely scenario on the dollar. And then gold is right here at weekly support for this weekly trend line. We'll see what bulls are able to do, if anything. It does not bode well for gold bulls with this just sideways action since yesterday afternoon. With the dollar pulling back, they should have bounced. Bearish divergence is how you read that. Nat gas. The golden pocket is 65% retrace. That's typically an area where you're going to see a reversal. And remember, Fibonacci's are universal. I just got to know them as part of trading, but they're universal. They apply to daffodils and all kinds of things out in nature. So I've studied the Fibonacci math series now, and it's very fascinating. All right, on nat gas, we're struggling here at the daily 50 MA. We're still squeezing, looking for a daily lower high compared to 3061. This contango has this, or this backwardation, whichever one it is, has this chart all messed up for me. This is going to ruin my nat gas trade idea. 4-hour higher high, but still daily lower high on deck, and we have inventory today. Don't forget about that. All right, let's look at Apple. I have my notes, just a second, let me pull them up. They have iPhone overheating news this morning, so we're already at 170. We're red on Apple when the market's bouncing. That doesn't bode well for Apple bulls. If you're going to short something in tech, this would be my pick. So if you're going to short something in tech, this would be my star to short on Apple, because it has news. It's broken all the key supports except for monthly. And check that, make sure that's accurate. Yes, except for monthly. And we have weakness on this news. So if NQ gets weak today, I want to be shorting Apple, because Apple's the weakest in pre-market because of the iPhone overheating news. Okay. Amazon. Amazon had the makings of a potential inverse head and shoulders, and now it's weakened in pre-market. So that's not looking so hot. I had reverse back burner typed on this chart yesterday when I talked to y'all, and I told y'all that I would look for first 5-minute overbought conditions to short Amazon because it was down, what was it, 3 or 4% the day before, and that one worked out perfectly, absolutely perfect. If you took that 5-minute overbought short against the midday resistance 12815, yes, from the prior day, you made out like a bandit. And Shop worked out really well with the weekly. Go. We were looking for this weekly support to possibly hold 5120. and we got a good bounce from 51.34 early morning. Walmart short, that worked out for us yesterday. We were looking for that daily lower high to be set, looking for Target and Costco bearish news to possibly flow on over to Walmart, and that worked. And I'm keeping Walmart on my radar. I have puts and I'm swinging puts. So I am looking to add, I scaled out. Again, so much to talk about. So yesterday, my two top short ideas were United Healthcare and Walmart. And then at 11:52, Walmart weekly high or low, the more likely scenario, 4 hour was oversold, scaling out a bit made sense. So I scaled out when I posted that right there. And then now we're getting a bounce. So now I want to add that scale back on a bounce. That's how I swing trade options, is I like to scale out when I get the juiced premium and then add it back on an overbought conditions in this case. Okay. I don't think I finished Amazon. Amazon's weak, reverse back burner mode. NVDA, potential 2-day bear flag and weekly head and shoulders. It's super weak. And this is just the beginning of the head and shoulders here. We have the left shoulder and the head. We would have to get a bounce to get a right shoulder going, but that still is a 2-day bear flag. I mean, just classic bear flag. And I've been showing y'all this channel because of the daily bear flag potential, and it fell out of it yesterday. Okay, now this is where someone had a question. How would do a trade review of NVDA reverse back burner on the 15-minute yesterday and walk us through it? It did 15 overbought right away, but I'm not sure what the confirmation entry was. Let's just I'm going to take these lines off the chart, and I want you to just kind of focus in on the price action here that NVIDIA has been doing. Okay, here. Pop, drop. Pop, drop. Pop, drop. Pop, drop. Pop, drop. This one was not as clear. Pop, drop. So we've seen Roku do this days on end. So NVIDIA now has a personality about it where it's popping and dropping. All right. So we were looking for lower highs on that daily 15-minute back burner, got overbought right here. And then you could look at lower term time frames and say, okay, 15 minutes overbought. Now what surgical precision tool am I going to bring to this trade's idea to short it? Right here, 42655. You have a high established. Now I have a level to play off. Give me that level. All right. Then I'm looking for that 2 or 5 minute lower high compared to 42655 for that top fish. So that's how I would have traded it. And I realized that hindsight's 2020, and I try not to be a Monday morning quarterback because I know it's easy looking at charts once they've already played out. But here, your risk right here was 20 cents. Because if you broke to a new high of day, you were wrong. So your risk was only 20 cents. There. All right, Tesla. Wait, I didn't finish NVIDIA. So NVIDIA, it just continuing to get these little tiny higher highs without follow through. We're looking for that daily lower high. Maybe first hourly overbought will give us that daily lower high. Maybe that's the trade on NVIDIA. I don't like it where it is, so I don't plan on trading NVIDIA a lot today. Tesla. 1 second, let me get a drink. Bulls are still searching for that weekly higher low. It has been so weak. Volume was 20 million more than average yesterday. It's like Kathy still has her finger on the sell button. Look at the hourly 50 MA rejecting price over and over and over. It's just weak. We're looking for a weekly higher low. Tesla will have its day in the sun. I just don't know when that day is. So I would be looking for longs off of low of yesterday for aggressive bulls, but I would in general, I'm going to avoid this one today. Okay, juicy setups. Affirm. Look at this high compression squeeze on the 2 hour on Affirm. Do y'all see that? And we have a head and shoulders developing in RSI. Do you see it? So let's look at the daily. That's a potential bear flag. That's one that you could print and put in on Investopedia.com as a classic bear flag. Upper wicks of bears selling into pushes. This is a top fish setup at $20.60. Now, y'all, I would not be shocked if we went to even, let's do the math, exact math. We could get up to $21.54 and still be a bear flag. Do you see it? So Affirm bounces are for selling, looking for that daily lower high. And if it could push up into $20.50, I would attempt a short. If I was wrong, I'd stop out. Then I'd wait for confirmation with 2-minute downtrend. So I'm looking for an Affirm short. And this high compression squeeze, I think, could be explosive. So we will see how this one works out. Heck, I think I would even look for a short up into $21 where that 2 hour 50 MA is. Meta is my second favorite Queen of the Mountain trade. So I don't know why I'm obsessed with the 2 hour this morning, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. So on Meta, we had this tightening pattern. We have this squeeze. We had news. They had their event. The event didn't go well. It broke bear. Then the whole market started squeezing and it bounced. The daily 50 MA is right overhead at 301.36. You see the daily 50 MA? I know I got a lot of lines there. Clear that one up so you can see it. Do you see the yellow line right there? Daily 50 MA right overhead. We're looking for a monthly lower high here. I did that too fast. We're looking for a monthly lower high. Now, Meta has been strong compared to its cousins. I think I had this wrong on the 4 hour. Yeah. We have a high compression squeeze under the 50 RSI. I like Meta. Man, that 43.30 top fish was good. That was juicy. So I like Meta short. Now, all of these ideas, I'm going to mirror up with the market. If the market is weak, I'm going to stick with my short ideas. If the market's strong, I'm going to stick with my long ideas. All right? Yeah, hit the like button. Okay. SWBI. This has been a major bull, and this is no comment toward guns or anything. I'm the least political person you'll ever meet. I don't even want to talk about anything political. A weekly lower high is the more likely scenario. We've got a triple top in this area, 1309, 1306, 1305. We're up here. I think a top fish at $13 makes a boat ton of sense on SWBI, looking for the weekly lower high. Walmart, I shared with y'all, I'm waiting for bounce to add to my short. And XOM is a long idea. This thing is beautiful. New all-time high yesterday. So we're looking for the first 5-minute back burner oversold during regular trading hours. If the first 5-minute oversold happens during pre-market hours, then I push it up the hurdle to 15-minute during regular trading hours. So I think a pullback is worth a buy on XOM. I didn't go over oil. Oil. Okay. So oil had major day in the sun. Weekly got overbought, and that's that area that I've been watching for that potential short on oil. And I still love oil chart. Overall structure is unbelievable. This 4-hour pullback is a little more than what bulls would like. So now on a bounce, a bear could look for a top fish setup. And hourly, we're looking for a lower high. And bulls will be looking, aggressive bulls will be looking to buy the first hourly oversold, which they've been buying them back here, back here, back here. They've been working. So, all right, that was the one I forgot. All right, I covered them all. Oof. Chewy's a dumpster fire. Dumpster fire. That is a high compression squeeze going on there. Chewy's going to get a beautiful bounce one day, but I just can't tell you when. There's no signs of anybody wanting anything to do with this name. I'll watch that video, Rob. ACN looking for a weekly high or low. Wait 1 second. Let me get my monthly. Monthly's good. Weekly, we're looking for a high or low. You know what that chart looks like? Intel. Isn't that weird how you look at so many charts and you start seeing how they look similar? That's Intel, and look at ACN. Anyway, nice weekly churn up. Daily downtrend. Oh, they had earnings. Okay, well, I can't do anything with that. They're gapping down on earnings, so bounces are for shorting. Okay, TAN approaching weekly oversold. Daily oversold. Bounces are for shorting. Reverse back burner on TAN until bulls show up. SE, your next resistance is 45.60. You just hit 43.70. You have the daily 50 MA overhead at 46.79. I wouldn't worry about the daily 50 MA as much when you got this big of a gap overhead, so there's no resistance over 45.60. This looks healthier than most names I've looked at. I'd still be looking at top fish, this 43.70 though. Well, no, I correct myself, I wouldn't. Well, yeah, it was a pretty big pullback, and it didn't bounce when the market bounced. So I guess a top fish of 43.70, looking for a 4-hour lower high, what could be feasible, not my favorite. Pens is squeezing. Daily, we're looking for a higher low. You're sitting here on the daily 200 MA. Potential 4-hour falling wedge. I don't know. Nothing special about it for me. CELH. Potential daily bear flag under the 50 MA. That's a short for me, dog. When potential daily bear flag. Had a nice squeeze move yesterday, but bears will be looking to top fish 93.48. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank y'all for being here. Hit that like button and don't forget to sign up for our webinar tonight. All right, y'all, use stop losses.